Have you ever had those days where you just cannot get out of your own way? Like you just like nothing is working. Things seem to be slow as molasses. And that is me the past couple of days. It's just like I cannot get out of my own way. So anyway, here I am. It is very late in the day, but I'm filming because I finally got finished making the blocks, which took forever. Hi, my friend. I'm Pat Sloan. So I've got on tulips because I'm hopeful that some spring flowers will start to come up here in March. Okay, so first of all, let's look at socialites. This is the block for this week. If you are following along with the Fat Quarter Shop's free quilt along, a different designer did each of the blocks. I have one of them coming up, and I'm not telling you who did it. You go over and surprise yourself when you see it. Now, Kimberly Jolly at the Fat Quarter Shop, she is doing videos on how to make the block, and so is Gina Tell, who is making the little size ones. So you have two sets of videos to watch for each of these blocks. So be sure if you want to watch videos, you go and do that. Okay, let's just take a look around. I did a little, spin around things, and also at the end, I have a tour. I switched a lot of the quilts out for St. Patrick's Day and spring. Turns out I had not made binding for this, so I went into my basket of binding, and there was a bag of leftovers, and I don't hardly ever use those, but I thought I would try thinking about using them, and guess what? Guess what, folks? This was it. This was it, and there was enough. So I kind of, measured it, and there was more than enough for 4 sides. So it's not the same fabrics, but it's got that light blue, so it is perfect for a scrappy binding. Yeah, wonderful. Now watch me find later. I made some binding for this, but I didn't find any. This is the basket that I keep the binding in. If you've been here for very long, you know about this basket, because sometimes I forget I have things in here. So I need to go through. I think the next one I'm going to grab out is the limoncello, the lemon squares, because it's big and I want to go from biggest to smallest and get the rest of these bindings on. I'm thinking, like, can I do 1 to 2 bindings a day and just knock it out? Just finish it. I don't feel like doing those, but just finish them. So that is this one. Here's the bag that I pulled the light blue binding out of. So I'm still going to keep those a little while. Maybe just have just one bag with extra bindings and enough, not like little pieces. I put those in a scrap bag. So this is for the mushroom quilt. This one I'm not sure. This one says March. This is for the Make-A-Wish. And then I have some things back here that are for older stuff. So I need to just analyze this, but definitely I'm pulling this one. I'm going to do this one after the little sort of light blue pinky red one that's out there, the table topper one. Okay, so that's kind of a few things that have gone on, and a lot of not going on, but anyways, that was what went on. I'm getting down, so I'm getting down on the fabrics for the scrappy quilt along with Wendy. We are on the last blocks, and the blocks are coming. The sampler is, here's the sampler layout with the fabrics that I'm using, which are Corey Yoder fabrics. So here's the layout that I'm doing, and each blocks are coming from her book. Now, I took this opportunity for the last blocks to sew and rearrange. That's the word, rearrange a little bit, and it all has to do with color. Let's take a look. I'm doing colors for the last group, and then I'm going to rearrange a few, and let me show you why. Here, I somehow got the same background, which I just don't want it like that, and the same problem down here, the same backgrounds. So I'm going to see how I can rearrange these colors a little bit to switch that out, whether either a basket or a shoe fly will come up here Same with this set. One of these will come up here, one of those will come up there, and then I can switch out the backgrounds. I switched things around. Let me tell you what I did. I don't want these backgrounds right next to each other like they had been, so they'll go this way, which means I had to have 2 baskets here and then the 2 shoe flies up there. Although I could have switched around a shoe fly, but then what happens is some of these backgrounds, like if I put this green here, it's real similar to that background, and I just don't, I would like them to be a little bit different, even though yes, I do have that here. I do. Don't look at that. I can't change that. And then I wanted to get some gray in this corner, so I'm going to use this stripe, which means that the basket stripe needed to go up here because I didn't want stripe to stripe. And yes, there's a little tiny stripe there and there's a stripe there, but I'm okay with that. It's just I didn't want them in the same. I didn't want them there. Okay, so green, can add a bit more green here. And then up here, I was a little bit like, not sure which fabric. I wanted the red, but I wasn't sure which fabric, and decided that I would go with that peach because it doesn't read quite so heavy solid like this peach does. With it being, it's like lighter, so I'm going to go with that. Now I just need to get backgrounds for those 4 blocks, and I want them to be more tonal, not the solids, but I'll find something that maybe has a little bit of pattern in it, but different. I decided on this one with the little tiny X's to be for this piece, for that shoe fly. I could actually look for something else, but I think I'm just going to go with it. And then up here for these 2 baskets, because that's got a lot of heavy pattern in backgrounds. Here I will go with the bee. I'm not sure. Yeah, you did use the bee down here as well, so I think I'll use the bee. Otherwise I have some little houses, so I may use the little houses. Let me show you that piece. Here's the little houses. I have to fussy cut them because I'm making a shoe fly, so put the baskets, the houses rather, in the bigger slots. Yeah, maybe I'll use that one. I'll use the houses. I did rearrange. I did a little bit more after that. Next week I will show you, because I don't have the 4 of the blocks sewn together. But here is the one with the little houses, and I did switch it to gray. I showed you it was going to be green. I switched it to gray, and there they are. And that gray one goes in the empty spot. It looks so good. I'm very, very excited about this. I had to stop because it's late and I wanted to film. I didn't want to stretch it out and film tomorrow. I have other things that are going on. So, okay. But what did I do? I really love this fabric, which is an Amy Sinibaldi fabric called Tiny Town. And the little houses came in 2 different colorways. The other colorway had like red roofs and stuff. And I really wanted another piece of this. So of course I hunted around and found somebody, and I bought the last piece they had on their Etsy store. I think you could find it in one other seller in a bundle, but this person had like just one piece. So I was like, good. Now I have a little bit more, and I'm sure a few of you can relate to that feeling. It's like, I'm just not ready to not have any of that, and I think I can still get just a little bit more. So I did. Okay, let's take a look at rearranging the quilts, and I still have stuff that's staging from my dad's, and so I have to film around that, because who wants to see that? So let's go. We'll start here in the kitchen. I put the tulips, the purple tulips. This is a pattern from my book. I love the big polka dots. Can't go wrong with the polka dot. All right, out here, I have to keep you above the fold line here, because there's just a lot of stuff from my dad's that has to go to different places and it's being stored here. So anyways, here is the table topper. This is like the mini muffin or something like that. And then I just made them into shamrocks. Instead of doing 4, I did and I think I did this on my website. So you can look. There is the book 100 blocks, which this is all I did, but it fits here perfectly. I decided to make it just to fit there, and I'm very excited. I'm going to show you the quilting. The The New York Beauty was done like in 2007. It was published in McCall's magazine. So if you keep old magazines, and I went ahead and did bunnies and chicks. These were my grandma's bunnies or great grandma's, I forget which. Okay, so look at that rabbit and a gumi. So here my girlfriend did wind in the sky part. Can you see it? The wind, and then verticals for the building part of that layout. And that is a layout in Tula Pink's book for, you know, all 100. I don't think there's ever 100 blocks in that one. You would have to make it bigger. Okay, so that is that. Looks so good. I'm happy it fits there. All right, out into the living room. Ta-da-ta-da. And if you've been here a while, you might have sewn along with this one. That was a quilt along that I did, and my green squares. Love it, love it, love it. Did this chevron years ago. It's just half square triangles, but I really, really love the fabric. That shade of green and the different prints on it. A little bit of blue, tossed in a little bit of shamrocks. The pillow there is from the Virginia Quilt Museum Harrisonburg Quilt-A-Long. That was the first fundraiser we all did together. I'm very low on green items. The little table mat or a little coaster. I believe my friend Jane did that pattern. This was a gift. It's actually a pillow top, but I thought, oh, I can just hang it in one of those Ackfeld hangers. And a little pillow, like what are these blooming things, you know, so you cut that and wash it and it does this thing. Okay, we'll get over there in a second. I have got a green piece here, and then that's the rainbow quilt, but the green is like in the middle, but I thought I'd just hang it there anyways. The library quilt that we did together from my book, and then this is Greg's mom's picture, and we don't have it in a frame because Madge didn't have it in a frame. But here are the cross stitch, and I just had finished that one, and I found this one, which I have forgotten that I had. So now my friends are like telling me, now you need a fifth one to go down here. There's only so much space here, so we will see if next year there will be a fifth. I have been using this on my door forever. It was just a part center block, a random block, the center part, and then I just built it out with some other random pieces to get this for the door. Okay, the battery ran out. I charged it up. This is a table runner with shamrocks. I'll probably, after St. Patrick's Day, I'll take that down. I'll put something else up. And then in the hall, I have this wonderful one made with my birdsong fabric. And then over here is one little pineapple. And a last view into the living room for March. I'm happy with it. It's very fun. I did not change anything here in the studio. I left the aqua and gray and red up from the So Sampler. I'm still enjoying that. I may change that out next month. And in there I may change some quilts. I think more of the small pieces, like the vertical with the shamrocks, I'll change that out. And then probably the table topper after St. Patrick's Day. So, okay, my friend, I hope that you are enjoying my Facebook group and sharing your progress on all these wonderful blocks. And if you are, I'm using Rosie by Fig Tree for the socialites. And so share your socialites, share your Scrappy, share your Harrisonburg. I got the Rose of Harrisonburg done, but I feel like there's just too much today with doing the tour. So next week I will show you three rows of, I'm not sorry, Harrisonburg is Silver Lake, the Silver Lake for the Virginia Quilt Museum. Harrisonburg was the one we did like a couple years ago. I will show you that next time. All right, my friend. Happy St. Patrick's Day next week to all of you who are Irish or a little bit Irish like me. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.